Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 6 starts now.
I'd say over 100.
That's how many times a local attorney's phone has been off the hook, answering concerned residents' calls about the Chemtool plant explosion. Today, residents gathered in Rockton to learn more about legal actions.
Tires in the environment are actually one of the most common breeding locations for mosquitoes.
A local health department asked for residents to bring in their used tires to help reduce a pest population.
It's a big transition to go from active duty or whatever capacity you serve in to civilian life.
Family and friends gather to remember a Forest City native that helped create a safe place for veterans. Good evening, I'm Alexis Carpello. One resident is taken to the hospital after a house explosion on Rockford's east side. Rockford fire crews tweeted about the explosion on 9th Street around noon today. They didn't provide information of the victim's condition or what caused the house to explode. We'll update you on this story once we learn more information. Firefighters are still on site at Chemtool, making sure the fire that was finally put out doesn't have any flare-ups. As of Wednesday, officials tell us the fire suppression efforts at Chemtool are complete, but fire crews are staying there until Sunday. They want to make sure there's no flare-ups. Tomorrow, crews will reassess if additional fire monitoring is needed. A local attorney speaks with residents about legal actions that can be taken against the Chemtool explosion. Attorney Kevin Frost says he's picked up over 100 phone calls since the explosion. His firm has filed 4 individual lawsuits on behalf of residents. The goal of today's meeting was to provide some answers and learn more about residents' concerns.
Now the lawsuit's filed, there'll be a discovery process that we'll undertake, and obviously this is so new and things are moving and changing day to day, and so it'll make it, it'll probably just lengthen the time. You know, it's not like a car accident that takes place in state and Maine and you know the make and model of the cars and you know the person broke their leg and broke their arm.
Attorney Frost says there's more moving parts, but he hopes to learn more about residents' concerns and to be able to provide answers in the future. Family and friends gather to honor the life of a Forest City native who gave so much to veterans in our community. Dylan Siraki was at today's memorial. He joins us in studio now to share more on what people say they'll miss most. Dylan?
Alexis, people I talked to say Pat Ambrose was an inspiration to others around her. They tell me her commitment resulted in a new place for local vets to call home.
See all the people that are here today to celebrate Pat. It's clear how much of an impact she made on the community and especially on our vets.
Friends and family come together at Veterans Memorial Hall in downtown Rockford to remember Pat Ambrose, who died earlier this month. The Forest City native helped found the nonprofit Veterans Drop-In Center and served as its executive director until her passing.
So it's open 5 days a week where any veteran can show up regardless of discharge status and have access to all the services that the drop-in center provides, free lunch and dinner, and a place to socialize and get together with other vets.
Jim DeVerde, a Marine Corps veteran and drop-in center board member, tells me Ambrose made it her mission to help local veterans get the support they need. He believes the drop-in center, located on the corner of 4th Street and 15th Avenue, has been a safe haven for those who've served since it opened more than a decade ago.
Being a vet, it's nice to have a place for other veterans to socialize and get together because they often can commiserate and have things in common that they may not have with other civilians.
The center plans to stay open moving forward. DeVerde says it's just part of the legacy Ambrose leaves behind.
We found somebody to take over the role of executive director, which is the role that Pat occupied. Nobody can replace Pat, of course, but she would have wanted us to carry on the mission to support our troops, our vets, and to make sure that they're taken care of.
DeVerde says Eric Willard will take over as executive director of the drop-in center. Alexis?
All right, thanks, Dylan. A local health department collects tires to help reduce the mosquito population. Health officials say a tire is a common area where mosquitoes breed. The Winnebago County Health Department hosted today's tire drop-off. At least 1,500 tires are expected to be dropped off today. They urge residents to get rid of tires to help prevent West Nile virus.
Especially in our area, these mosquitoes are the ones that are capable of carrying and transmitting West Nile virus. So a big part of the reason we do this, we get fewer tires out there in the environment. It means fewer mosquitoes. It means likely that transmission of West Nile virus would be lower.
These events are registration only. The health department tells us they will let us know when they plan to host another drop-off. Rescuers in Florida are racing against time, battling heavy smoke and flames as they search for any survivors following Thursday's condominium collapse. The mayor now asking residents of an identical condo to temporarily relocate. Here's ABC's Rena Royce reporting from Surfside, Florida.
It's a race against time in Surfside with a perfect storm of treacherous conditions slowing down search and rescue efforts.
We're facing very incredible difficulties with this fire. So they've been working around the clock under the rubble to fix this problem so they can get on, but it is hampering our search efforts.
Crews bravely powering through the smoke and flames, desperate to find survivors. Still no word from more than 150 people who are unaccounted for since early Thursday morning. Rachel Spiegel still waiting for news about her mom.
It's hard, but we are still hopeful.
Officials also optimistic despite hearing no noise from the rubble in a while.
We are still hopeful that we are going to be able to find someone in this pile.
Security cameras nearby captured the moment the condo building collapsed. So many wondering how a 40-year-old building that survived hurricanes could come crashing down in just seconds. Documents show one inspection report filed with the city in 2018 claims that the entrance drive and pool deck of the building had failed waterproofing, which was causing major structural damage to the concrete structural slab below these areas. At the time, engineers called this a major error in the building's development. But engineers also filed another document with the city describing the overall concrete framing as being in good condition. Pictures show what appears to be cosmetic cracks on balconies, entrances, and garage-level pillars and pieces of concrete broken off.
Any one thing is going to be tough to pin down or eliminate completely from the possibilities.
There's now concern over the building's sister condominium built by the same people at the same time. The mayor of Surfside considering asking those who live there to temporarily relocate so that it can be inspected. Rena Roy, ABC News, Surfside, Florida.
Just days after Vice President Harris visited the border, former President Donald Trump will make a trip down. Coming up, how his trip is expected to look very different.
And we had a couple of showers earlier in the day, but we should keep an eye on the radar as we head into tonight. I'll have more details on our rain chances coming up in the forecast. Stay tuned.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Alexis Carpello, David Greenberg, and meteorologist Kevin Doom.
This week, former President Donald Trump will make a trip down to the U.S.-Mexico border. This comes just days after Vice President Harris visited the border city of El Paso. But Trump's visit is already expected to look very different. Anna Warnicki is in Washington with more as she's keeping you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. Donald Trump's last trip as president was to South Texas to take a look at the progress of his administration's border wall. And now this week, he'll be returning to the border for the first time since leaving office. Donald Trump is returning to the southern border, this time as an ex-president.
It signals to the rest of the country that he actually still cares. He's not the president. He's not in a position of government.
Trump will visit Weslaco on Wednesday, where he'll be joined by Texas Governor Greg Abbott and a dozen House Republicans, including Texas Congressman August Pfluger.
He wants to go down there and offer his expertise and his solutions to a governor who is actually trying to do the right thing and is doing the right thing to secure our communities.
The trip will look very different from Vice President Kamala Harris's visit on Friday, where Harris met with migrants at a processing center at the other end of the Texas border in El Paso. Former President Trump took credit for Harris's trip, saying in a statement, "If Governor Abbott and I weren't going there next week, she would have never gone."
It was always the plan to come here.
Trump's trip comes a little more than a week after Governor Abbott announced plans to use state funds to continue building the border wall that the Trump administration started. It's a project Texas Democratic Congressman Lloyd Doggett calls a waste of money.
The idea that Governor Abbott will return to Trump's wall is ridiculous. It will be only a token amount of contribution. It will be using state funds that could be better used to help Texans on this side of the border.
The former president is expected to visit a Texas Department of Public Safety facility first and then go take a tour of part of a border barrier. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki. Back to you.
Coming up later in sports, the Milwaukee Bucks got their revenge in a big way last night, blowing out the Atlanta Hawks. Plus, keep out your rain gear. It looks like we'll have more of a rainy pattern this week. Joey will tell you more about that and his full first warm weather forecast next. You're watching Eyewitness News at 6.
Now, your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Joey Marino.
Although we didn't get to see a heavy soaking or a rain soaking event over the past couple of days, each day did come in with less than 1/4 of an inch. We did get some rainfall over the past couple of days, but as we jump into the next couple of days, we are going to continue to keep chances scattered as a more active pattern continues into the start of next week. But taking a live look over downtown Rockford, we have seen skies fill in a little bit more because of not only the line of severe storms that's passing to our south and east, but also because we have a couple of thunderstorms that are popping up near Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, and even along Interstate 80 out in eastern Iowa. So those are going to be tracking in thanks to an area of low pressure that's now swinging into Wisconsin. But you can see where the more active severe weather has been happening today, more along the lines of eastern Illinois into Indiana and then up into Michigan, where you can see a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and also tornado warnings are still active as we head into the overnight or the evening hours. Now, going into tonight, we are going to keep a chance for a few isolated evening thunderstorms, and then we're going to quiet down a little bit around midnight. We're going to watch as a cold front swings in, and that's going to bring us more isolated chances as we get into tomorrow morning. So let's take a look at that using Futurecast. As we jump into tomorrow morning, you can see that low pressure system moving into northern Wisconsin. You can see the line of showers that are along that cold front. That's going to be swinging in between sunrise and also mid-morning tomorrow. And so that will give us a chance for a couple of light showers as we wake up tomorrow morning. But once we get into the afternoon, going to continue that isolated chance. But it looks like we're going to see dry conditions move in as we get into tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy skies. And then we'll have another couple of days where we're going to see scattered activity going into next week. And that's because we have two high pressure systems that are locking a pattern in place. We have one out towards the west coast, and that one is going to be bringing heat to portions of the Pacific Northwest and also the west coast. Temperatures going over 100 degrees this weekend for places like Portland, also Seattle, down to Sacramento. This high pressure system is going to help bring in a lot of moisture. It's going to be wrapping in some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and also the deep south over the next couple of days, and that's going to lead to scattered chances not only for Sunday, but also as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and then next Thursday. But you can see that we keep chances in the isolated to scattered range over the next couple of days into the second half of next week. So it's not going to be where you want to put your rain gear away just yet. We are going to keep those chances heading into next week, and we have to just see if we're going to have enough moisture to give us a good soaking event, since we haven't seen that yet so far this month of June. Now, as you can see here, we're going to keep our best chances for not only Monday, but also Thursday. Temperatures don't really change much going into the next 7 days. Low 80s into next week. We'll have a chance to see some sunshine Tuesday, Wednesday, and then as we head into next weekend, thanks to a high pressure system. Alexis?
All right, thanks, Joey. David Greenberg is in next with sports. A massive high school basketball is taking place in downtown Rockford over the weekend, and it featured some of the best talent from around the country.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with David Greenberg.
Some of the best high school basketball action in the country is playing out this weekend in downtown Rockford. The Chicagoland Summer Showcase is going on at the UW Health Sports Factory. This was day 2 of the event, which featured teams from several states, including Missouri, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Once again, Michigan State's Tom Izzo was in the house scouting the action. Coaches and scouts from 46 colleges attended. Check out one of our local teams in action. Hononegah playing Granite City of Illinois. Chase Kemet will score underneath for Hononegah. Then Brandon Beck, he'll fire in a 3 from the corner. Hononegah won this game 51-39. In another game, in Rockford Lutheran took on Hazelwood Central of Missouri. Vontez Dent draws the contact, gets the lay-in, and one. And Walter Hill Jr. He'll drive and score off the window. Shooter's touch. And Big Mike Jones comes up with the steal and the breakaway. Couldn't finish the dunk, but that's okay. He's got plenty of those in his future that he'll make. Lutheran won 53-49. The coaches and players get a lot out of this tournament, and they're well aware of the college coaches who are in the building.
Well, I think it's great for a lot of reasons. One, you see some great talent, and it's always fun for the kids to see Matt Painter in the crowd from Purdue or Brad Underwood from Illinois, you know, some of the guys that they see on TV.
I saw Tom Izzo here. I mean, I got pretty excited, and I'm just worried about, like, playing my game and, like, for my team and just winning.
Playing teams that are you can't simulate it in practice, number one, and number two, it helps you find out what your weaknesses are, what you need to work on. So it's critical in the team development.
The tournament continues tomorrow as well. Well, things have not been going the Sox way over the last couple of weeks. The bats have gone cold, the pitching hasn't been as solid, and it's a direct reason why they've now lost 6 of their last 7. That includes last night's home reopener, where they welcomed a full-capacity crowd at guaranteed rate. Ended up losing that one 8-1 to the Mariners, and after hoping to turn it around today, Mother Nature came calling, so tonight's game is postponed until tomorrow. They were in the 3rd inning before that one got called. The Cubs are out in Los Angeles taking on the Dodgers. It's Alec Mills up against Julio Urias. First pitch was just moments ago. This one is on in prime time. You can catch it on our sister station, Fox 39. There's not much to be said about last night's Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals because the Bucks dominated, winning 125-91 over the Hawks. This is exactly what we should have seen from Milwaukee in Game 1. The Hawks aren't big enough, physical enough, and deep enough to hang with the Bucks. If Milwaukee plays like they did last night, this is going to be a very quick series.
And I think to run off our stops, to run off our rebounds, is important for us. But it's not anything different, or we talked about it. This is what we have to do. We just wanted to play better, compete harder.
That's it for sports. We'll be right back.
Joey's here with one last look at our forecast, and rain, more rain.
Yeah, it's been mostly quiet today, but we cannot rule out the chance for maybe a few isolated thunderstorms this evening. Taking a look at our First Warn Interactive Radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Much of the severe weather has been to our south and east, but we'll keep a chance this evening, and then maybe a few showers by tomorrow morning. But you can see that we do keep chances into next week. So hit or miss showers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think we have a little bit of a better chance to see sunshine Tuesday and Wednesday, but temperature's not too bad, staying in the low 80s into next week.
All right, well, thanks, Joey, and thanks for making us your home team. We'll see you at 10.